Hello, my friends. Welcome to this series of the videos. This week I want to talk to you if you consider yourself an underdog, if you consider yourself someone that perhaps is in the market and you've been looking for opportunities, if you're a tech professional or a healthcare professional that is looking to change up, where you're working or what type of work you do. But today I'm going to focus specifically to the tech workers. So come over, come closer, my dear friends. Come closer, okay? Because what I want to do today is I want to speak to the underdogs. If you consider yourself an underdog. So what do I mean by this? As you know, in the tech world, there's what they call the FAANG companies. So these are the companies that actually, some years ago, starting from around the 2013-ish, these are the companies that were really, really driving a lot of the stock market in the tech sector. And so they were coined the FAANG companies. So FAANG really stands for Facebook, Apple, Amazon, N for Netflix, and G for Google, okay? They're not the only big companies, but they were considered the big companies. And if you're someone who really interacts on LinkedIn, you find that many of them tend to have X this, X that, X, Microsoft, X Netflix, X. The reason on X LinkedIn, the reason for that, because they tend to be sought after, or someone who has worked in that company tends to be sought after, at least back in the day. Things have changed, however. Certainly, they do have skills. So, first of all, I want to also prefix with this. I'm not trying to kick down. I'm not trying to put down these companies for sure, or the people who work there. I'm not jealous by any chance. However, I'm just speaking for how things have changed, okay? And speaking though to those people who consider themselves underdogs in the context of these big companies, okay? I'm one of them. Why do I call myself an underdog? Because especially during COVID, my area changed. Even I was impacted. Why? Because I was working in the healthcare consulting industry for the longest time. And when COVID happened, sure, our industry changed because they were looking to save lives, they being the hospital systems, the hospital companies, or the hospitals, the big hospitals. I mostly worked with consulting companies and specifically went into hospitals, helping them really with the issues they're having. Many are known issues to do with revenue, to do with things not working out right. When I say things not working, meaning the system setups and things like that. So this is an area I've worked in for quite a long time, as in healthcare consulting. And so I know it pretty well, literally from 2006. Specifically, it's coming almost 20 years or something. Anyway, and so you found that even the companies themselves actually had to be absorbed into other bigger companies. They sold the companies, they moved on, the founders and all of that, because many of them still had the founders working. These were people who were ex-employees of the vendor companies. And so I work for a vendor company. And so you found that we had a lot of experience in those areas, what to do and what to, things to make right. So in that context, as as COVID happened, I'm trying to get my mind here. As COVID happened, even I was trying to find out different areas, different platforms actually that were looking to use consultants as freelancers, if either people who had been working in consulting or people even who had worked in companies, not necessarily that they were consultants. But I was, I'd been working for a consultant for a long time. But despite everything I did, or even applying to some of these, because some of them you had to apply and then they look at your, they asked for you to enter your, what is it? They ask for you to enter your LinkedIn account, and then if you entered it in, they'll go and look at your LinkedIn account. And I was told no. Here's what I realized, because when I went in now as someone who's looking for services, I saw that most of them were X this, X that, X Amazon, X who, X, the big X, tech companies. But here's the thing. I realized that despite the fact that, we're being aged out, we being the people who haven't worked at these companies, I do know my stuff. I know my stuff and I know what I can do. And so are many other people who are, dutifully employed in these companies, the healthcare companies, that is, in this context that I'm talking about. And so, or any other company, it doesn't have to be healthcare. Not everyone has really worked at the big tech companies, but they're doing tech. So therefore, what I'm bringing to you is I want you to know, if you're someone who has not worked at the big tech companies, you don't have the X, Google, X, anything like that, the FANG companies or big tech, that you are still valuable. So don't forget that. Your genius is still there and your skill sets are being needed. Okay, so the thing is that too many of talented professionals are doubting themselves, and especially in this employment, area and age where it's a bit difficult, they're literally still letting people go. If you haven't heard, Microsoft just left a bunch of like over 9,000 employees, and yet they're just I think it was a month ago, they let almost like 20,000 or something like that go. So, yeah, they're calling it a bloodbath and all of that. So, I'm trying to encourage you. And by the way, even I'm talking to people who consider themselves underdogs in the context of what I'm saying, I'm also talking to those of you who have lost your jobs at the big FANG or big tech companies. Okay. But I wanted to first address the ones who may doubt themselves. So, in the context of that, I want to know that your skill sets are still being sought after in the different areas. Just like anything, all of us, including myself, right now, we all have to reskill or re-skill ourselves, retool, upskill ourselves. And that is really what I want to encourage you. They're still hiring. Now, there are not many, but the other point is that we have to be strategic. Think about, where you're going. Many people say, okay, they rehire in the areas there, and that's true, okay? But also be open to some of the other industries, especially those that are not really letting people go en masse, okay? Because they need your skill sets. Now, what would you do? Because either way, even the people being let go right now, they too have to reskill or upskill, okay? We have to upskill all of us and find what it is that we can do that is being sought after, all right? So with that said, I want to really encourage you, if you're someone or anyone who is in the job market. If you're not, you're lucky. And if you're not in the job market, but are looking maybe to change your industry because of what you're seeing, you're being strategic, you want to reposition yourself in industries where they're hiring and they're not letting people really go en masse as they are in the big tech industries. Okay, which is, something I would advise anyone. So, what do you want to, what are some of the industries right now, especially that are hiring? Again, I'm going by LinkedIn. LinkedIn has all the data. So it was, I think, last month. I do have a post I posted about it, but they gave the top 5 industries. I do remember right now the top 3, but what other top 5? Okay. But the main ones were, one was healthcare, which is the area where I have worked for the last 20 plus years. Second was also finance. Okay. The third was construction. big areas. There were other two which I forget, but the point that I'm trying to say right now, now these are industry sectors. Then there were also where they broke it down to the job areas. So AI is part of that, different capacities of AI. It may not be that maybe you have to be an engineer of AI, even though that's included, but somewhere where you may have to work with AI. Another one is health, project management. Project or program managers are being sought after. Those are the ones that really stayed on top of mind for me. And then there are also other areas as far as the actually drilling down the job categories. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that if you are someone who has tech skills, because those skills are being sought after, I would like you to be open-minded and consider perhaps trying some of the other industries, okay? Because what they're looking for are problem solvers. They're looking for people who are builders, meaning can you do or work with something new, okay? And then also people who can think critically. You communicate and you adapt quickly, all right? The thing of it is that the skills you're seeking are your transferable skills, all right? But the skills you may not have that may be needed in addition to your skills are the skills you can learn, okay? So all of us, no matter who, we're going to have to upskill. No matter who, we're going to have to upskill. So what I'm saying is those are the areas that you may need to upskill in, okay? And therefore, you have to know that you do not have to wait to ask for permission to pivot. We are never going to be ever ready. We have to start now. It's scary. However, if you have someone that is leading you, someone that is guiding you, this can be done. I myself have done it actually within the industry that I've worked in. Not necessarily outside, but within the industry. I've had to pivot. I actually started out myself as a software engineer back in the day, many years ago. And then I pivoted into other areas. I went to consulting, business. I was a software engineer, / business analyst. So I was doing both of the things. I went into consulting. I went into project management, senior program and project management. And then I've gone now into the AI part of it, and also where I'm coaching and guiding, professionals. The guiding and coaching is because of the consulting. I used to also, train or provide that over-the-shoulder type training, or mentoring one-on-one for the client employees. So this is my background. So these are the things I bring here that I share with all of you. So couple of things that I want to leave with you in this video, I don't want it to be too long, is I want you to remember that even though you are not an ex-FAANG company or ex-big tech company, you are valuable, your skills are valuable. If you're an ex-FAANG company professional, your skills are also valuable, okay? They're also needed. But even with that background, you're going to have to reskill. That's the reason they're letting many people go, because of the changes they're making, okay? So remember that. Second is that you, in addition to remembering that your skills are valuable, all of us, including myself, which I've done and are still actually in the process of doing, we're all going to need to reskill. We're all going to need to upskill. We're all going to need to learn some new skill sets or something new, okay, that adds to what it is that we're doing. AI being part of it, sometimes there's particular skill sets from maybe the industry that you may pivot into, okay? And last but not least, mentioning three things, is that I would like you to know that you're not starting from the ground up. You have the experience. You're starting from where you left off if you've been let go. If you haven't been let go and you're still working where you are, great. But at the same time, because you're using your current skills, you're also going to just learn, a bit more from where you are. And so all of us are going to just kind of add to what we already know, okay? No one is starting from zero. That's why I'm talking to experienced professionals. You're not starting from zero, you're just adding to what it is you already have, okay? So with that said, I wanted just to give a quick look here of to show you, because I don't want you to think I'm making this stuff up. So I'm going to go here to company and just to show you what I mean. So let me share my screen here. So we share screen and okay, so it's just make sure, give me 1 second. Let me make sure we have is it coming up? Yes, it is. Okay. And all right, so let's bring up a screen here. Okay. So this is an example company. That's the name of the company, and I want to show you example of the career opportunities they have. So you're going to see that, for example, for clinical operations, let's open that. I wanted you to see firsthand so you don't think I'm making this stuff up. Okay, so as you can see, clinical operations specialists, okay, who are they looking for? So they're looking, if you're a professional, you may be clinician or non-clinician, okay? In this case, they're looking for someone at least 2 years experience in healthcare. That is where now, if you don't have the experience and you're in tech, okay, this is where I could help you. However, in this case, this is usually someone who has been in healthcare. This is a non-clinical, probably, person. Could also be clinical, but they say 2 years, preferably clinical setting or a clinical documentation or coding role. So those are two, okay? When you're a coder, you're not a clinician. However, you have been working in the healthcare industry. Give me 1 second. I'm just getting some water before I start coughing. You've been working in the healthcare industry, and this is where they need you, because you are working on the documentation, making sure the codes that are being used by the clinicians are correct, or if they haven't included what is some of the services they provided in their documentation, or from the documentation that you can interpret that they haven't included a CPT code for that, they need you. That is who the CPC is, okay? Certified Professional Coder. So you see also certified clinical documentation specialist. This may be usually like someone like a nurse or any other person. It could even be an MA. An MA is a medical assistant sometimes, as far as the documentation part. But certified usually maybe a nurse, or sometimes it may be someone who is a non-clinician, like a certified coder. Okay, these are people who are in the industry that would know. Even though I'm talking to technical professionals today, because this is going to be a series. I just wanted to show you that even clinicians can be requested. Okay. Anyway, so that is for that. And then we go back. I'm now going to go into the technical part of it. So there are others here. You can see customer success manager, also support analyst and things like that. But I'm going to go now to the technical roles. So here you can see they need either data scientist or product analyst, okay? Or a machine learning research analyst or scientist, something like that. When I say something like that, it's right here. Or a data analytics, data analyst, someone who has worked in data. In this case, it's a director they need. This is a new position. Anyway, so if you're a scientist and have been working in some of the other areas, you are being sought after. I think the data scientists are sought after almost in every industry, for quite frankly, because they're ones usually who may have worked with ML, machine learning, and things like that. But the main thing here, as you can see, I want to point out a few things. One is that you have worked as a data scientist and machine learning space, okay? They do say it here, okay, foundations. So you have a strong proficiency in Python. Many software engineers have that. with machine learning frameworks such as PyTorch or scikit-learn. Okay. So here they're saying they want a strong, someone who is strong in that area. Okay. But the other areas also that they've been needing people, those who have worked on cloud platforms. So AWS is big, GCP is big, and Azure. AWS, so that is Amazon, this is Google, and this is Microsoft. Okay. The machine learning ops best practices, obviously. All right. So those are the things they want. So here is if maybe you've had some experience already with the machine learning, the AI languages, right? You have NLP, natural language programming there. They want, your the skill set in that area, and also healthcare data. Sometimes this is not, this might be a bit hard to find, but this is where now the training that I would help to do for you would be helpful. Okay. Healthcare workflows, there could be healthcare rev cycle management experience if you've done that. This I'll tell you because AI is new. These are not very easy to find. And so therefore, I think for most of these companies, if you have some of the other technical stuff, skill sets, and you learn the part of the data, part of the healthcare side of it, they'll be willing, I think, to see you. To employ you. They do have good compensation rates, as you see here. These are almost on par with what you're getting. But here they do outline what their tech stack is. So Python, SQL, data, you're working with data, PyTorch, okay, SageMaker, and Snowflake. Snowflake really is the one that is the big data platform. Okay, I've done actually training in Snowflake. I'm not necessarily certified in it, but I've done training in it. I know what it's about, this platform. It has to do with data and management and all of that. So those are the things that one can do. So that's the data part. Let's go to engineering. I don't know if, yes, they also have product. So we go to engineering, many engineering positions they are looking for, back end, full stack, front end also. This time they don't have front end, but they've had front end before. Some other companies also have front end. This is very sought after. Then you have also the machine learning part, the ML, which is ML engineering, and also product. So I'm going to just go into one of them, again, to keep this not too long. And you see here, they do want 10 plus years of development experience. So if you on cloud-based solutions, so if you've been in these areas, this is definitely for you. Okay. Python, again, is being mentioned. Actually, I'll say this, in almost all the software engineering positions, they're looking for Python. TypeScript is part of it, and React. Okay. They say familiarity. So maybe you don't have to be like heavily experiencing it, but at least you've touched it before a little bit, you've worked with it. Okay. The other part, these are nice to haves. Okay. You're a former startup founder or have been in the first engineering hire at a startup. Ooh, that is this is really a needle in a haystack. But the main thing is if you worked in the fast, I think growing fast and going fast. What I like about this particular company, many of these actually are remote. They're fully remote, so you don't have to be, and by the way, they're headquartered in New York, but they also have, they look for people specifically in New York, San Francisco. I know because I follow them a lot. This particular company, I was very amazed because solving problems that I've been working on that I do know, okay, as a consultant in healthcare. So I do know very well. Anyway, so you see that they do have this, they talk about this experience in Snowflake, DBT. I think that's database management, database, ELT pipelines and tools like Airflow, Kubernetes. This is very much, and this has to do with cloud. So this is where I think the cloud part comes in. So if you know that part, you have really some good background. This is what I mean by they're looking for the tech skill sets that you can transfer into healthcare. Okay. So you see they want Python, TypeScript, TypeScript. There are many type things. So this is TypeScript, not TypeScript. TypeScript, React, Progress, Elasticsearch, AWS, and Kubernetes. Okay. Again, also same thing. You're going to get equity incentives, meaning some kind of stocks probably, or equity within the company. And it's a good range there of the base salary. It's not too long that you can't tell. So either way, the salary is going to be over 200K. Okay. But I wanted to show you that. Now, what does it help here? Let's see. This is what I want to show you here, specifically in the health tech domain. Experience. Again, these are nice to haves, okay? You don't have to necessarily have it, but if you know it, particularly healthcare billing systems. This is the part where I specifically come in and help you, okay, to show you what it is. And also we do actually a hands-on project, because when you go here, which is what most companies right now are requiring, they're going to ask you for your website. But the website, really what it means is that the website to some kind of portfolio of projects that you've worked on. So you want to make sure that you do that. So as I'll be, helping people in terms of training and coaching on the healthcare workflows, I also give you some homework and give you an opportunity to actually do a project. And these are the projects that you can create and present to them. Okay. That really will increase anyone's opportunity to be chosen, at least to look at you and maybe call you in for an interview. Okay. The main thing is we want to get a resume looked at. Two, we have to present everything they need. Okay. You want to present your resume and cover letter. All right. And then also have some kind of portfolio to show that where your project, what projects rather you may have created, whether in the past and also as we are learning the healthcare piece of it. That is really to show that you understand the healthcare workflows. Okay. You want to show that. All right. So that is what I wanted to show you. I'm going to stop sharing. You saw some of the others. Again, many of them have that. I didn't want to, I didn't want to necessarily, I'm just making sure that I didn't want to, I did want to show you what some of those positions are so that you can see for yourself and you don't think I'm making this stuff up. So anyway, so if you're interested, I'm running a special right now. You can either choose a 45 minute call with me, and we can talk about where you're coming from. It's not just to talk about actually what you're coming from. It's me showing you and giving you a roadmap. Of course, within an hour, you're better than someone who maybe wants 30 minutes or something like that. But within an hour, at least you can get a roadmap, an idea of how you can go about it. That is one promo I'm running, a special. The other one is if you want to do a deep dive for sure, I'm also providing you with a special, which is a 4-hour a deep dive called a VIP, where I really take 4 hours with you, okay? And sorry, I take 4 hours with you and I'll do a deep dive. We go into a bit more deeper things. I show you what some of the things are on the healthcare side, and then you can really decide what it is that you want. It's not just that. Again, you're going to find it in my profile, and I just want to show you that. Give me 1 second. Okay. So let me see here. Let me just show you. So if you go under my LinkedIn, please, if you go under my LinkedIn, go in the feature, you're going to find these two there right now. This one is the $100 is 45 minutes, and then this one is the VIP. So if you're interested, let me know. Either way, if you want to chat for a little bit and find out what this is all about, you're not sure, let me know. We can, book a call here, and then we can chat about that, okay? If you want any other solution, let me know. I do have actually the course itself, but I do one-on-one, so that I address all your issues. Especially as I'm running this special, it's going to be one-on-one. Address your issues, your questions exactly the way you want them. It will be customized really to you and what your background is, okay? The particular situation, meaning your background. All right. So I do have a surprise bonus also. The bonus is there. If you read what each of those specials are, you're going to see what it entails, but also the bonuses I give. But also there'll be a surprise bonus for you, which will be like after we've had our call, whether it's the 45-minute call or if it's the 4-hour, call session, VIP session. I do have a surprise. I'll keep it that, but it will be a surprise where I'll be providing actually like additional support within that context. Okay. So thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, DM me, or let me know. Okay. Thank you.